So today we're going to do a little meditation on compassion using the Buddha chenrezig as well as his mantra, which I think most of you know. This mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, we'll do a little bit of chanting together as well as on our own and try to remove some of our obstacles to cultivating compassion. His Holiness the Dalai Lama in his teachings on Sunday night gave the Bodhisattva vows, which are rooted in compassion. So I think it's always worthwhile to spend a little time trying to deepen our own compassionate concern for others. So let's begin with just a few minutes of focused meditation on the breath, as usual, just to calm the mind a bit, bring ourselves into this space by trying to let go of any distractions and stay focused on the breath. If you already have a technique you use with the breath, you can do that. If you need a suggestion, you can work with the area around the nostrils where you feel the sensation of the air coming in and out and just stay focused in that area. Try not to let the mind wander. But whenever you see that the mind has wandered, gotten distracted, or even gotten a little fuzzy, if we're a little sleepy yet, then at that point we need to correct that. Just let go of whatever distracted us, kind of retune our minds and put the focus back on the breath. So let me ring the bell to begin our meditation period. Do just a couple of minutes in silence, and then I'll lead you in setting motivation and in this guided meditation. So now let's set our motivation for doing this meditation today. And let's do this by bringing to mind all sentient beings, trying to visualize them in the space around us, because they're going to be the object of this meditation on compassion. So think about your dear ones, friends of this life, immediately behind you and to either side, kind of there supporting you. The difficult people of this life, those who you find challenging, who you consider to be kind of opposing you, might be people who oppose you in their views, their actions, people who have harmed you or those that you love, all of those difficult people in the space before you. And then surrounding these two groups are all the countless beings that we don't have a defined relationship with. They're strangers, neutral people that are the vast majority of beings in this world. And just think about those going out in all directions, this vast sea of beings. So in setting our motivation, think that these are the beings we're doing this meditation for. We ideally want to help them to the greatest degree. Every single one of these beings simply wants to be happy, wants to not suffer. And in this life, we have met with these teachings of the Buddha that define a very clear path for us to be able to help each and every one of them completely. So we want to do this meditation with that motivation of desiring to achieve our own greatest potential so that we can help every one of these beings perfectly. So now to begin our meditation on compassion, I'd like you first just to contemplate for a few minutes, what are the things that you feel are blocking your own compassion? Obviously, we see that some of these things have to do with our biases, our judgments of others, our keeping our heart closed to some, especially those who are very difficult for us, and maybe even having some closing of the heart towards the strangers, the neutral people. But we also, of course, have at the root of this our self-cherishing, our self-centeredness. This is the biggest obstacle to generating our compassion. But spend a few minutes kind of examining in your own experience, what are the things that are blocking your heart from being open to all of these beings that you visualized around you? Just spend a few minutes contemplating that. And now generate the wish to be free of these obstacles.
to remove all of our self-centeredness, all of our biases, everything that gets in the way of opening our hearts fully to all beings. And then invoke in the space above you, kind of above all beings, the compassion of all the Buddhas in the form of chenrezig. If you know the visualization for 1,000-armed chenrezig, you can do that. But otherwise, just do this simple visualization of 4-armed chenrezig. In his first right hand is a rosary, crystal rosary. In his second right hand and his second left hand hold at his heart a jewel that signifies the wish-fulfilling jewel of bodhicitta. And his other left hand is holding a lotus that is in full bloom, beautiful. He's a perfectly white Buddha seated in the lotus posture on a full moon in lotus. Again, this brilliant white being who is the embodiment of the compassion of all the Buddhas, who has eyes that look to all sentient beings with that perfect compassion. And recall that all of the Buddhas were just like us, having these same obstacles. They had to overcome their self-centeredness, their biases. So there's no difference in terms of the path that they traversed and what we need to traverse as well. So kind of invoking their presence, their guidance, their power to help us to remove these obstacles. So visualize as we recite the mantra of chenrezig that rays of white light come from the heart of chenrezig, even from that crystal jewel that is at his heart, that perfect jewel of bodhicitta, his desire to benefit you and all beings. And that white light enters the crown of your head. It descends down, completely filling all of your body, your mind, purifying all of these, removing all of what gets in the way of being able to cultivate true compassion for all beings. So we'll recite the mantra together a few times, and then you can recite it on your own. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 You can feel that all of the obstacles to your own generation of perfect compassion have been completely removed. Feel that the body, speech, and mind are completely purified, completely free of any of these biases, self-centeredness, and so on. And then recognize that we still have to generate all of the other qualities that supplement our wish to benefit others, our sincere compassion for them, our desire to free them from suffering. So first, spend a few minutes thinking about what all you need to fully cultivate your compassion, to deepen it to the degree that chenrezig has it, where it's spontaneous, where there is not even the thought of compassion, just that impulse to act for the benefit of others. Think about the courage that requires, the extension of our mind of generosity to be able to give whatever it is that others need. All of the various things that will accompany that compassion, that will make it very strong, make it completely equal with regard to all sentient beings. So spend a few minutes focusing on what qualities you want to have in order to deepen your compassion for each and every sentient being. And then generate the sincere wish, the aspiration to be able to cultivate all of these qualities to the greatest degree, to imbue your mind with that boundless compassion that embraces all sentient beings, that has the courageous conviction to be dedicated to their welfare. And recall that it's possible to attain this because Buddha Chenrezig, as well as all the other Buddhas, once more, were just like us, limited in their capacity, but were able to develop their minds to that degree, to open their hearts, to embrace all beings. And so make this heartfelt request to Buddha Chenrezig, who is once more in the space above us. Visualize as we recite his mantra that once more brilliant rays of light come forward from the heart of Chenrezig. They enter your own crown, completely filling you with all the positive qualities, all the courage, all of the conviction to use this life as meaningfully as possible to benefit others through acts of generosity and kindness, patience, and so on. To have that, compassion that has no limits. So as we recite the mantra, really feel that you're receiving the blessings of chenrezig and these qualities are being actualized within you. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And feel that you have received all of the blessings of chenrezig, which is the essence of the compassion of all the Buddhas, to actualize this perfect compassion in your own mind stream. Feel that you have all the qualities necessary to have this compassion complete, perfect, equal regard for all beings, and a mind that wishes to benefit them in whatever way possible. And now chenrezig comes to the crown of your head and melts into light that enters through the crown, descending down, entering into your heart center, your chakra, and merging with your mind. And then chenrezig appears at your heart, seated on a lotus and moon disk. And that perfect compassion of all the Buddhas that is now within you. And as we recite the mantra one more time, visualize that from chenrezig at your heart, which is the embodiment of the compassion of the Buddhas, but now is also the embodiment of your own perfect compassion. Rays of light go out in all directions. They completely purify all beings surrounding you and place them all in the state of chenrezig, all becoming perfect, fully enlightened through the power of our own compassion and the compassion of all the Buddhas. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. And rest in this state of knowing that you now have placed all beings in that perfect completion of Buddhahood. They're all in the state of chenrezig. You yourself fully perfected. And just feel very glad, rejoice that you have done this. And then let's dedicate all the energy we've created through the meditation on compassion with chenrezig so that we can develop this compassion perfectly, so that we can then open our hearts to the welfare of all beings, develop ourselves completely into the state of Buddhahood equal to chenrezig, and then work without any pause for the benefit of all beings. In that perfected state, being able to teach others, guide others on this path of awakening so that every single being will attain enlightenment. And then dedicate for good health and long lives of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Kyabje Zopa Rinpoche, all of our precious teachers, so that we can continue to experience their guidance and lead us on this path of full awakening. And then lastly, dedicate for any beings that you're holding in your heart to kind of make that compassion active by thinking about those beings who are experiencing difficulties right now and extend that energy out to them so that they become free from all of that and attain everything that will lead them to perfecting their own minds and developing true peace and happiness. And may all beings find complete happiness through what we've done here today. Thank you all so much for joining. Try to live your life with an open heart today, and I'll see you again soon. Stay safe. Okay.
Thanks,